With a list of iconic hits as long as your arm, he was the face of the 80s, and his music doesn't age. Come to think of it, nor does his face. One of the original MTV stars, Idol's music videos set the standard, with Rebel Yell and White Wedding leading the charge. Fresh from penning his autobiography, Idol is back in the country, touring for the first time in more than a decade. We just hope he finds someone to dance with.
Please welcome Billy Idol.
They sounded like the nuns did when they...
Welcome, Billy.
Thank you.
Now, Billy, I keep hearing from people who've seen you live that you're better in concert now than you've ever been before.
Well, that's very encouraging.
Does it feel better and different now?
Well, we have been doing this for quite a long time now, so hopefully you do get better. Yeah, it does feel really good. I mean, you know, Steve Stevens, my guitar player, is playing better than ever, and we've got a new album out, so we're very, you know, it's invigorating to have new music to play as well as the old stuff.
Are you saying you've always sounded great, your guitarist was crap, and now he's up to it?
I hope he's not watching.
So, I mean, such a great catalogue of great songs. Dancing by Myself, I love that song. That was like an 80s movie, wasn't it? It was like a... You probably don't... It was Breakfast... No, it wasn't Breakfast Club, it was... Anyway, it doesn't matter. But where did that song come from, mate?
Well, actually, we were doing some shows in Japan, Generation X, my punk rock group, and we were watching the discotheques in Japan at that time. They were still very... It's 1979, but they were still very much in the Saturday Night Fever mode, and everybody's dressed like John Travolta, you know, Japanese John Travoltas everywhere. And but the one thing that was different was they weren't dancing with a partner, they were dancing with their own reflections. And I said to Tony James, my partner in Generation X, I said, "Hey, Tone, they're dancing with themselves." And he said, "Dancing with myself, that could be a good title." And then, remembering that, next time I was writing a song, I started to write Dancing with Myself, and I'm still doing it today.
And I mean, your name, Billy Idol, it's not your name you were born with.
No, no.
And what's the story behind that?
Oh, well, when I was in the third form at school, a teacher wrote in, you know, capital letters instead of cursive, you know, long form. He wrote in capital letters, "William is I-D-L-E," and I knew my dad was going to kill me once he saw that, but I never forgot. I never forgot that, and the first when punk rock happened, everybody was changing their names and stuff, Johnny Rotten and Sid Vicious and Rat Scabies, and I was going to be Billy I-D-L-E. I don't really want to do anything much, I'm lazy or whatever, and, but then it's Eric Idle's real name, you know, Eric Idle from Monty Python, so...
Yeah, right.
So in the end, I had to sort of go for something else, and it was crazy, but I just thought I'd still be Billy Idol.
That's the better spelling of that name.
It was a much better spelling, and it took me into the 80s as well as through punk rock.
And it's a better name than Billy Scabies, that's for sure. You've mentioned punk rock a few times. A punk rock icon from the 80s you were, and so I was delighted to learn that you are a graduate in English literature, which is about the most unpunk thing in the world, isn't it?
No, I didn't. I was only there for a year, and I left.
Oh, you
so
dropped
I didn't
out?
Actually,
well, in that case,
dropped out. Yeah.
That's totally punk. That's
I dropped out to join a punk rock group. That's what I...
Oh, that's very, very...
Billy, I'm a big fan of sneering. I like sneering myself. You know, can you give us a decent... I reckon I could probably do better than that.
Oh, that's quite good.
It's like you're going to the dentist.
It's great, isn't it? Don't you feel good sneering?
Every now and again, isn't it? It's
brilliant.
It's a release.
Exactly.
Billy, we got a segment called Ask It Forward. We had a comedian, Adam Hills, on the show last week, and he's a big fan of yours, and he wants to ask you this question.
Hello, Billy. Here's my question for you. When you were a kid growing up, which musician did you want to be, and why?
Yeah, well, I really loved John Lennon. I thought he was fantastic. And then a bit later on, I loved the Velvet Underground, so I loved Lou Reed as well. But John Lennon was a big influence. Yeah.
Is it hard to control your influences, or like, you know, you don't want to be too influenced by anybody?
Well, you have to watch out, but there again, you know, you want to You want to sort of marinate yourself in the things that you love, and because you want to reproduce things that made you feel good in the first place. And so, but there again, yeah, you have to be careful. You don't want to be stealing anything.
One of the things I love is blokes like us in our late 50s. I just turned 60, you're 59.
That's right.
Don't feel that at all, do you? I mean...
No, you don't. It's funny.
You love it. I don't feel 60. Do I look 60?
No, it's just when you look in the mirror. It's a horrible shock when you look in the mirror, that's all. It's like you just think, I feel quite good today, and then you look in the mirror and go, oh, Jesus. What happened?
But just on that, because Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins has decided he wants to call himself William now. Because as an older man, Billy's just ridiculous. But you're sticking with Billy. Are you happy to...
I like the ridiculous, yeah.
Very good.
Well, Billy's new album, Kings and Queens of the Underground, is out now. Plus, Billy is on tour and all the dates are on our website. Would you please thank Billy Idol?
Stick around, more project coming up.